Joining us now, Loretta Mester, former Cleveland Fed president, now Wharton School adjunct full professor of finance and CNBC contributor. Loretta, great to see you.
Great to see you, Melissa.
So now FHFA is investigating Chair Powell because of overruns and the renovations of the Fed Reserve building. I'm just wondering, Loretta, how you assess this whole sort of campaign of pressure on Jerome Powell and the beauty contest, which seems to be unfolding between Hassett, Warsh, and Waller for the job.
Yeah. Well, it isn't helpful to have the president be so aggressively antagonistic, trying to pressure the Fed. It's not unprecedented that a president has views on monetary policy. We've seen that over time. But I think what's different about this time is that it's been pretty persistent and unrelenting. That will not change how the Fed goes about making its decisions on monetary policy. They're going to do the same kind of evaluations of the risks to the outlook, what the modal outlook is, what they believe policy should be doing to achieve the dual mandate goals. And that kind of analysis and looking at the data coming in is going to guide their decisions. But it certainly is a distraction, and it complicates the process of monetary policy because we're all talking about it. The markets are skeptical about, will the Fed be basing its decisions on the data and the analysis, or whether, the president's comments are going to basically influence policy. And so the Fed has to spend more time making sure that market participants and the public understand that they're going to be doing the analysis that's needed to guide monetary policy using their best judgment about where the economy is going and the risks around the outlook. So it complicates the process, but it doesn't change the decision-making calculus.
Well, that's the worry, though, Loretta. Not that it.
Exactly.
Not that you're not going to be able to cajole the Fed into lowering rates, but it could change their decision if they had data that would actually induce them to lower rates. It might change their ability to lower the rates. And it's sort of the opposite of what the president wants. That's what people might be worried about at this point. It does change their behavior because they're not in a position now to lower rates.
No,
if they want to.
So I heard Roger Ferguson earlier on the program, and I guess I would disagree a little bit with what his view is. I agree totally that it does complicate things because it does bring up that appearance issue. But it's not going to change how they do their decision making, even though they're going to have to then go out and really explain, which they should be doing anyway.
So suddenly, if suddenly they thought it was a good time to lower, you think they'd lower now? I can't imagine that they'd lower now.
Yeah.
Really?
No, they would, because they would have a good explanation of why it's appropriate to do it. So they're going to use the analysis and the type of calculus to actually do the evaluation. That's the best way, right? If they maintain their ability to look at markets, look at what's going on in the economy, use the data, do the evaluation, and then make the appropriate decision. That's the best way they can support an independent institution. So, they're going to play a long game, which is they have to do the analysis and do the evaluations that Congress has asked them to do and charged them to do, and make their decisions based on that, and then make sure that they're going out and explaining to the public and to the legislators and to the administration and to everyone in the markets why they made the decisions they made. So that is kind of how the process is going to work. But I totally agree with you and with Roger and with others who this does raise a concern about how the Fed is going to go about its work, and that is not helpful. That complicates things in a way that isn't helpful for the economy and isn't helpful for the Fed and isn't helpful for the American public.